I never saw myself as a storyteller, or a YouTuber, or a content creator, or even a songwriter. Far from it, really. I've always had a creative mind, but never in a way that made sense to the world. What I did have was a life, a full one, with chapters I never shared, moments I never named, and feelings I learned to bury deep. Music was always there, not as something I made, but something I leaned on, until one day a challenge found me. A simple, cheeky dare. Write a song. I laughed it off, but something stirred. The stories started pouring out. The stories became a song. The song sparked sketches, and the sketches needed a voice. And before I knew it, I had a video. It wasn't polished, it wasn't perfect, but it was mine. It was real, and this is my truth. And once I opened that door, I realised something. I've been telling stories all along, not because I wanted to be a storyteller, but because I needed to see and hear my own truth. That's how my best friend came to be. And somehow, that's how YouTube found me at 61. This isn't a love story, at least not the kind people expect. This is about a friendship that runs deep. Not in the sheets, no, but in the soul. You know the kind. That one person whose energy just slots into yours. The one you don't have to explain yourself to, because somehow they seem to just get it. That's Max. He walks through the world with presence, seasoned, travelled, lived, like a passport full of stamps, creased but still standing, still flying. See, in my world, most of us stayed close to our postcodes. A 2-week holiday once a year, that was our version of global. But Max, that man has lived. And when he's around, I will make space for him. Not because I'm waiting on anything. I'm not afraid to say, it's because his presence opens something in me. Like I can breathe, different. Dream, bigger, wider. He reminds me I was built for more. More freedom, more laughter, more life. To be honest, no one else quite brings that same vibration. And here's the truth. It was never about the man. It was always about the energy. The rare kind that doesn't drain you. It just sits beside you and quietly reminds you who you are. After 45 years of friendship, I realised something I never saw coming. Our bond was holding up a mirror to my deepest pain. One day we were talking, just casually, about poetry. I said, "It's all about how you tell the story." He said, "Yeah, it's like writing a song." Then he looked at me and said, "I bet you could write one." I laughed. "Me? Nah, I'm not creative like that." But Max, he just smiled. He knew exactly what he was doing. He dropped the challenge and left it hanging in the air. And that was all it took. I decided to write something personal. Something only he and I would understand. So he'd know it came from me. So I wrote about us, our friendship, our connection, the years in between, and the things we never really say. I called it my best friend because that's exactly what he is. What started as a joke turned into something much deeper. That song became the beginning of everything. But when Max left to go on tour, something unexpected happened. I felt empty. Not because he owed me anything, not because I needed him to stay, but because his absence touched something old, something I thought I had already healed. So I sat with it and I asked myself, why does this feel familiar? And then it hit me. This wasn't about Max at all. This was about me. The little girl in me who learned that closeness always came with distance, that people leave, that joy doesn't stay. For a moment I questioned myself. Is this codependency? Am I leaning on him to feel whole? And instead of running, instead of distracting myself, I did something different. I sat with it. I looked the pain in the face and I whispered, I see you. And that's when the real healing began. I booked myself onto a therapy course, not because I was broken, but because I was ready. Ready to understand the roots of the longing, my childhood wounds. Ready to meet the parts of me that still craved validation, affection, presence. Max wasn't the trigger, he was the mirror. And the song? That was the first step. After I finished writing My Best Friend, something shifted. I felt lighter, but also unfinished. Like the song had opened a door, and behind it, more stories were waiting. Not about Max, no, but about me. The girl who loved too hard, the teenager who saw her sister die, the woman who kept showing up, even when she was falling apart inside. So I started to write, not for anyone else, just for me. Memories poured out, like old photos from a dusty box. Some painful, some funny, all real. And then something whispered, stop hiding. Tell your story. Not just in writing, but out loud, with visuals, with music, with truth. And that's how this video came to be. It wasn't planned. It was born from a need to hear myself, to honour my story in my own voice. I didn't set out to create a YouTube memoir. I set out to understand myself. And chapter by chapter, I began to see it. This isn't just storytelling. This is healing. This is reclamation. This is the journey back home. This is my creative awakening, from pain into purpose.